Welcome to the American Rambler with your host, Paul Grafton. This is kind of both a Hallelujah Day and a response to Styxhexenhammer, aka Tara Warwick. Still blue pilled. Wonder why he's not wearing his wedding ring anymore. Okay, so the Dutch Congress is trying to conscript women, trying to set out the law, make it a conscript women. Uh, but Sticks Hexenhammer still going with the tired old feminist argument saying you need women in order to grow the babies, uh, in order to fight the wars. But usually wars are over before the child becomes age of maturity. And usually there are wartime booms, but here's situation. We're still operating under the consensus of 100 years ago, where it is necessary for a woman to have a baby. Here is an article from Guardian. Okay, we may one day grow babies outside the womb. Okay, but there are many things to consider first. The idea of growing has been inspired by novels and movies. Yeah, don't forget Brave New World, where essentially uh, it looked like creating babies was just as simple as making pancakes. Now, research groups around the world are exploring the possibilities of artificial gestation. Yeah, you could have a gestation box in your living room and watch your baby grow into a full gestation. Wasn't there also animals where uh, they were using the wombs of other animals uh, to grow a baby from an animal that was on the endangered species list. So growing was an artificial womb. Growing a baby outside the womb is known as ectogenesis, and we're already using a form of it. When premature infants are transferred to the human cribs to continue their developments in neonatal unit, that's partial ectogenesis. In other words, they're developing full ectogenesis. So all you need is a test tube. Oh yeah, and don't forget, wasn't it Elizabeth Smart who was a baby that was grown fully inside a test tube? So what would an artificial womb contain? An artificial womb would need an outer shell or chamber. There's somewhere to implant the embryo and protect it as it grows. Uh, so far, animal experiments have used acrylic tanks, plastic bags, and uterine tissues removed from an organism and artificially kept alive. So we are on the cusp of an artificial womb. Would also need synthetic replacement for amniotic fluid or shock absorbers. Finally, there would have to be a way to exchange oxygen and nutrients to in carbon dioxide and waste products out. In other words, researchers would have to build an artificial placenta, of course. And don't forget, Elon Musk is building entire life support systems where he's going to have to develop this if he wants to colonize Mars. Animal experiments have used complex catheter and pump systems, but there are plans to use many versions on uh, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation techniques that allow blood to be oxygenated outside the blood cell. In other words, it's going to continue to grow and produce, much like a small child outside the womb, but it's going to create an artificial environment that mimics the womb. Now, here are some other things to consider. Um, okay, one of the things I said is that women will never be granted equality until it is given to men. What I mean by that is women have certain privileges, like voting without having to sign up for the draft, losing all federal funding and programs like that. They have 10 different ways to shut down a man. They have full control on who gets to live or die when giving a baby. Some people didn't like it because a YouTuber personality went out and essentially artificially inseminated uh, a woman so he could have a baby of his own without having to deal with the modern woman. Okay, so here are going to be some things that Congress, well, at least the Dutch Congress, is going to have to uh, approve and go through. One is a war so definitely necessary that you are willing to put female troops in the front line. See, I think all U.S. wars from now on, it should be law that you have to put one female combat troop first in the front line before you can put any male combat troops on the front line. No, I don't do this because I hate women. I do this because I love people. At the same time, I also can't stand them because I can't stand hypocrisy. Now, the reason why I say this is because think about it. You're going to think long and hard before anyone is going to endanger a woman. They claim that women feel unsafe at night, yet 9 out of 10 times, it is usually the man that is being attacked. Uh, but I also believe some of that is through proxy violence, where the woman says, "Are you not going to be man enough to stand up for me? Are you not, you know, like that?" So the reason I'm happy about this is because now, even though the Dutch seem to be rather peaceful, if they enter any war and a female has to be on the front line, they're going to think about it first. All right. Now I'm hoping that the U.S. Uh, Now I'm hoping the U.S. will follow suit. Now that it's been proven that it's unconstitutional to have a male-only selective service, saying, "Oh, the draft doesn't exist." No, the draft exists, but right now there is no need. Matter of fact, during the second Gulf War, we only had one troop battalion inside the U.S. That's how much we extended our military forces. All right, this is Paul Grafton signing off. Don't forget, click the link below. Check out my camping store, Camping Sensei with an A.com.